I love a good crime drama. At the turn of the millennium, there was a crime drama that used the song "Who Are You?" Now, it ran for 15 years. It was cutting edge at the time, and it used the theme that they solved intricate cases by using forensics and science to discover who the victim was. So, but their main question was, who are you? Well, how would you answer that question? My first initial thought was, well, I'm a wife, a mom, a daughter, a sister, a cousin, or a friend, an acquaintance. I'm nobody. Wait, what do you mean nobody? God says that you are someone special. Now I know, if you've been abused or you've been in a marriage that's struggling or currently in a marriage that's struggling, you probably do feel worthless. You feel like the perfect life that everybody else has just kind of passed you by. But I want to make something really clear to you, and I need you to listen into me right now. You are very special. And the reason I know that you are special is because God created you in His image. And He says in Ephesians 2:10 and again in Psalm 139 that you are perfectly made according to His image. And in Ephesians 2:10, He uses the word poem, that you are His workmanship. He completely crafted you to be exactly the way that you are, to serve a purpose and to exemplify Him to the world in a way that no one else can. So you are extremely special. Jim Rohn, several years ago, there's a famous quote by Jim Rohn, and I'm going to give you the KDS version of that quote, and it says that each one of us are the composite of the 5 people that we choose to hang around with the most. Well, that got me thinking. When I remember when this was said in a presentation, and I completely missed the rest of the presentation. In fact, I don't even remember the presentation. I only remember that quote. And like I said, I gave you the KDS version. But I started thinking about, well, who do I hang around with? What kind of people are they? Do I like being that kind of a person? And then that got me thinking about another question. And I think maybe this is the better question. Who do I want to be? Now think about that for a moment. Who are you answers that question from a snapshot in time. Right at this moment, this is who I am. But when you ask the question, who do I want to be? You have a myriad of possibilities. And like it or not, the people that we spend the most time with do influence, like we influence them. We rub off on each other. And when you think about that, are you influencing people the way that you would want to be influenced? Now, this got me thinking about my own life. And as I said, as I was processing this question, I looked back and I thought, when I was in high school, I remember some of the first dates that I ever went on. And I think back on them now, and I wish I could go back and ask teenage me, why in the world did you think that guy was a good guy to go out with? Because when you're sitting on a date with someone and you have nothing to talk about and it's awkward because you're sitting there staring at each other, kind of giving that, half smile and sipping on your Coke or whatever, it's not a pleasant experience. So why did you think going out with this person that you knew nothing about was going to be a good idea? And then there's the idea, again, when you're in your teens especially, but it's not only teens. If you are in a group gathering, watch where the crowds start to form. We tend to think as human beings that if we ingratiate ourselves with the popular crowd, that's going to give us value of some sort. Well, I was at a large gathering, a business gathering actually, and there was a person there who's very well known and had some really good business savvy, really good business tips. But as I kind of got to the edge of that crowd and listened into the conversation, the foul mouth that was coming out of this person, by the time I walked away, I felt like I needed to go take a shower. And to get to the nuggets that this person was giving out just wasn't worth wading through the filthy language. So today, as you're looking at who you are versus who you want to be, I want you to start with the people that you hang around the most. Now, like we've done the last few weeks, because we're talking about the influences in our life, grab a piece of paper or open a blank document on your electronic device And make a list of your current people. Just write down the people that you hang with the most, okay? This is just a list. Again, this is just for you on this exercise. Now, after their name, I just want you to jot some information. How long have you known them? What's your relationship with them? Are they a family member, a friend, an acquaintance, a coworker, a neighbor, whatever? And then, is this a positive or negative influence? Are they an encourager or a discourager? Are they a secret keeper or a gossiper? How about, are they a pessimistic or optimistic? When you're hanging with them, are they a source of energy for you, or do they suck your soul right out of you? Now, on the back side of that paper, in 2 or 3 sentences, I want you to describe, who do you want to be? Dream. Unlock. This is just for you. Who do you want to be? Be specific. Think about this as writing your eulogy. Now, seriously, when we're talking about writing a eulogy, we all kind of go, that's negative. But if you're at a funeral and you hear what people say about the deceased person, what do you want people to say about you when you're gone? How do you want to be remembered? That's your clue to the person that you want to be. Now, you're going to look back at your current list, and which of the people on that list are going to help you become that person you want to be? Now, everybody loves to receive a star, so let's go ahead and put a star by that person's name. And if you've got little kids at home and you've got stickers, slap a sticker next to that person's name. Make this fun. Now, after you've done that and you look through it and you go, yeah, that person brings out the best in me, or they challenge me to be better than I currently am. Now, let's go back to that current list. Who distracts you from who you want to be? This is going to sound really kind of nasty, but I want you to draw a line through their name. Now, that doesn't mean that you're going to sever all ties with them, because in some cases you can't. What if it's a family member who just really is someone who sucks the soul out of you? You can't necessarily delete them from your life, but you can start to make changes in when you deal with them and how much exposure you have to them. So, let's say you get to the end of this list and there's nobody on that list that fits the person you want to be. Now what? Well, the good news is you know who you want to be. The tough part about this is you've got some decisions to make. You have a choice. You can continue to hang with these people and allow them to influence you, and hoping maybe that you can be the positive influence in their life. But how does that help you? And statistically and realistically, you and I both know that when you hang around with negative people and you're the positive influence in there, you tend to become more like the negative than they become more like you, the positive. The second thing is you can identify people that you want to be more like and figure out a way to begin to build relationships with them. So who do you know in your neighborhood or your church or your family, your wider circle of acquaintances, your maybe at the gym, or your children's circle of friends that are related to your children? Identify those people. And these are the ones that are truth-telling and life-giving influences for you. So your two choices are before you. Option 1 means you choose to stay the way you are. But the second choice allows you to stretch, grow, mature beyond your wildest imaginations. So if you're a stay-at-home mom and you've got little kids, this probably feels a little bit overwhelming to you. But I want to encourage you that it's not. It's easier than you think. Think about the ladies in your neighborhood. And, is there a mom that you're watching and you see regularly and you think, man, I really like the way she parents her children. I wish I were more like her. Well, start to develop a relationship with her. Just even if the kids are out playing and you can stand out in the cul-de-sac or on the street in your yards or whatever, begin to develop a relationship with her. Seek to become a friend. Build that friendship. Even Bible studies, even the online Bible studies or whatever, if you can do a Zoom, if they're video especially, you get to an opportunity to not only see these women, to see their faces and hear what they're saying, but begin to observe how do they interact with everyone else. in the group. And is there someone there that's an encourager? Is there someone there that every time she says something, you look at her and you say, wow, I would really like to get to know her? There's a clue. Figure out how you can begin to develop a relationship with her. What about friends of yours that you find yourself, you know their mother, maybe they still live in the same area, and you've hung around with them, and every time you're with your friend's mom, you just find yourself, your soul being built up. I had a friend like this growing up, and I realized several years ago that her mom actually became a mentor to me in my late teens, and as I became a young mom. She would write me letters, she contacted me. Every time I met with her, she just was so encouraging. She recently passed away, and this has just really become to the forefront for me of how this woman became a mentor, and she was my best friend's mom. So who do you know? I bet there are people already in your life that you know. You know, one of the people that I met with for quite a while, Kate, it's not her real name, but she had some negative influences in her life, and I remember she brought that up in one of our coaching sessions, and we were talking about it. And I asked her why she felt she needed to continue those relationships. How could she begin to lessen that impact and develop some relationships with some other women who were more positive, that would build into her? And there was some fear involved in removing that relationship, because this one woman was part of a group of friends, and she felt like there would be some severe repercussions if she began to distance herself from this negative woman. Well, I encouraged Kate to try some things, to meet with some of the other gals in their group of influence without this negative woman's presence there. And as Kate began to make some changes in her life, she discovered that that just removing that negative influence made a huge impact in her life. And if you could see Kate today, she's such a beautiful woman, and I'm so proud of the strides that she has made. So today, how do you answer that question? Who do you want to become? Even if you're in a broken or wounded marriage, you can choose who you want to be. It's not dependent on your husband, and I'm not going to give you the opportunity to use that as an excuse. When I decided to overcome my past wounds and become the woman I wanted to be, yes, I wanted my husband Dave to heal, but that wasn't up to me. That was up to him. My healing depended on me, not him. Now, thankfully, both of us were in the position where we wanted to heal, and that allowed some wonderful benefits in our marriage. But even if your husband isn't at that place, you're not stuck. I want you to hear that. You're not stuck. You can begin to heal. This is one of the things that I do. I meet with women who are dealing with pornography addiction in their marriage. There's a deep wound, and they are deeply wounded. And through the Aftershock Recovery Program, we get to find a new way. We get to become the women we want to be. So if you need someone just to talk to bounce off some ideas, I encourage you to hop over to KirstenDSamuel.com. That's spelled Kirsten, D as in Diane, Samuel, Samuel, and click on that big blue button on the home page. You can sign up for a free 30-minute session with me, and let's see how we can move you from who you are today to who you want to be. Until next time, have a great day.